The modern world has only one commandment left: thou shalt trust in thyself. It is the mantra of our day, printed on productivity planners and repeated by influencers like a chant. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. But Jeremiah 17:5 interrupts this mantra with the subtlety of a lightning bolt. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. Imagine this. We have built an entire civilization on the very foundation Scripture calls cursed. And now in 2026, the cracks are no longer sinkholes, they've become calderas. Genesis 11 reads like the trailer script for our era. Come, let us build, let us ascend, let us make a name for ourselves. The tower is no longer made of bricks, it's made of technology, self-help ideology, political messianism, and spiritual relativism. Humanity has grown so confident in its so-called brilliance that we have forgotten the first Babel fell not because of height, but because of heart. We are repeating the same architecture with new materials, and the confusion has already arrived. Look around. What do you see? Digital platforms producing a polarized society, unprecedented tools creating unprecedented loneliness, and endless information but almost no moral direction. It is the tower all over again, just slicker. But this is where the story flips. What we are living through is not just Babel repeating itself. It's Romans 1 coming alive in real time. A world climbing its own tower eventually meets the same outcome, not a strike from heaven, but a God who steps back. Romans 1 doesn't describe a culture struck down. It describes a culture let loose. God giving them over to their desires, to their thinking, and to their own wisdom. The wrath of God in 2026 doesn't look like brimstone from heaven. It looks like God stepping back and saying, fine, have it your way. The terrifying thing about Romans 1 is not divine intervention, but divine permission. In my view, it is one of the most frightening passages in all Scripture. I pray every day that the Lord never hands me over to a reprobate mind. Even as I say this, I feel the weight of it, the fear of becoming so dull, so hardened that I can no longer tell good from evil. We are watching the consequences of self-deification unfold, truth evaporating like morning fog, desires turning into addictions, self-expression becoming idolatry, politics morphing into religion, religion morphing into therapy, and therapy morphing into self-worship. 2026 is the year of unveiling. Economies and institutions groan under the weight of human arrogance. Politics melts on the altar of human idolatry. Identity fragments under the illusion of human autonomy. And relationships break under the tyranny of self-obsession. 2026 is the year the myth of self-sufficiency finally breaks and confesses, we are not enough. The curtain is being pulled back, and the illusionist behind the machine turns out to be another exhausted human trying to hold life together with positive thinking and a curated feed of TED Talk pep talks. Jeremiah 17 exposes the root of our problem, trusting ourselves as the ultimate source. Genesis 11 shows how that problem grows into a society obsessed with collective self-exaltation. Romans 1 reveals the spiritual mechanics behind cultural collapse. These three scriptures form a biblical psychology of collapse, where humans rely on humans, systems fracture. Where humans exalt themselves, unity disintegrates. Where humans worship themselves, desires devour them. Do you see the pattern? 2026 feels like standing at the base of Nyiragongo with a garden hose, pretending you can quench the lava. Nations argue passionately while standing on the slope of the same volcano, debating whose turn it is to hold the hose. Everyone is suddenly declaring themselves the chief volcanologists, but everyone is wrong. Humanity shouts, "We've got this," while ash rains down and the ground splits beneath our feet. Entropy is already camped on the crater rim, quietly judging our life choices. Humans were never meant to save themselves. In fact, they cannot save themselves. And the God who can save them is not panicking. Jesus did not come to beef up our potential. He came because our potential is a myth without him. 2026 may be the year the world finally sees what Scripture has long proclaimed. The end of humanity is the beginning of God.